Okay, hello everybody. Andito na naman po tayo for another topic. Pero parang pareho pa ito yesterday. O ulitin lang namin ni Christine. Kaya kaya kung sino yung may experience dyan on how to live a life or stress-free life, pwede po kayong pumasok sa aming live and sali po kayo sa aming little talk show. Okay. Ngayong araw na to ay pag-uusapan natin kung may question and answer portion po tayo about how to live a life stress-free na kung saan imposible talaga. Pero sasagutin namin ang mga tanong na yan through only our own experience. Okay, ayan. Hintayin natin si Chris. Sandali. Shout out to Kinzel Kitchen Vlog. Shout out to Bakikang's Vlog. Salamat Kinzel Kitchen Vlogs sa iyong pagpunta at pagiging member. Salamat. Hello, Crystal. Okay, here you go. Shout out pala sa aking 4 na milyon na viewers. Oh my God, ang dami natin ngayon. 4 na milyon tayo mga kaibigan. And Christine is here. Oh, Steven is here. Hello, Steve. Are you there?
He's around.
Steven? Is it Steven or you?
I'm using the computer.
I can't see you this time, Christine. I don't know why. It's just black.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not sure why. It's just. No, I can see you properly. Yes. Congratulations and welcome to my live.
Thank you. Steve is around. He's listening.
I'm leaving.
He said he's leaving.
It's too stressful.
He said it's so stressful for him.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
So far,
Hello,
so
Steve.
good.
Hello.
I can hear only the buffering kind of thing. Let's see.
Yeah, your pictures keep frozen up. Hello, Nora. You froze, girl.
I didn't know it snowed there.
Okay, this is fun. she's leaving me alone here. She froze. Now she's gone.
The only thing she can probably do is lower the resolution of her and I'm telling you, don't say anything to her. Lower the resolution of her video and possibly cut back the speed of her voice. I can do that here, but I don't know if she knows or can. So.
Hey, Christine. So sorry for that. I really lost my connection for.
Yeah, you got disconnected.
Sorry for that. Now I'm here. I'm totally can see you, hear you properly.
Okay, that's good.
That's good. Okay. Let ask Mark first. Mark, Can you join us in here so that it gonna be like a cool topic because we're gonna have you here. I mean, it's really good to have you. Please come in inside this live now, please. Thank you so much. I have the link in there. Just click the link. Okay, Christine. Mark said, Christine, I didn't know your name started with a key. So when next someone chats in the other video, I use yes, right.
I'm using Steve computer, so his name is right there in the screen. So
Oh,
nerd.
7. Actually, you can change that. You can edit it.
How do I do that?
It's just write the name, but it's okay. That's fine. 7.
It's okay. I'm his proxy.
Yeah, proxy of 7.
I'm his secretary.
6 guitar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're Mark, or he gonna join us, or what?
Maybe we can start first, and then maybe he will trying to. Oh, here you go. No camera on this speak. I'll try from my phone. Okay, that's okay, Mark. That's okay. Okay, you can come in, please.
So he's gonna join.
Yes, I think he's gonna join.
I can see your background photo there. It's
Yeah,
Joseph and
this is my father. I really like this. I really like that portrait a lot because it seems like an abstract. In his face, I can see something that's forming in this part. In this part,
yeah.
when I watch it below, I can see something really different, another form. Oh, Tivana Tiest. Hello, kumusta? Hi, buddy. Okay, Christine, maybe you're gonna start the questioning now.
Okay, well, we can start.
But
Well,
before that, you have to said or you have to clarify your introduction about our topic today.
yeah, our topic today is how to live a stress-free life. It's well, we make it four short portion. It's we call the first part we call it love stress.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is insecure stress. The third
Mm-hmm.
one is financial stress, and the last one is how to live a life without stress.
Mm-mm.
I guess I like the last part.
Uh-huh.
Now Nora will share us about love stress.
What?
Yeah, she is so expert
Fun.
about love stress.
Pro?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. So
Okay,
friend.
Nora, share us about your experience. Share us your experience about love and stress or love.
Okay. I'm gonna share you my experience on love. Okay. Um on my first love and my first heartbreak at the same time. Okay. It is stressful when you are heartbroken. But being in love doesn't mean it's stressful. It's just how you deal it. If you feel in love, hello. Okay, if you feel in love to that person, doesn't mean that you have to demand that you have to be taken good care of. Okay, oh my god, my nephew is here. Okay, wait, wow. I need to. Hey, dito raw pagtulak si. Dito raw pag.
Oh, you have a guest out there.
Yeah, I have the very immaculate
Yeah.
babies. Wait ha. Bye. Oh my God. Alam ko sa mag-isara na lang portahan.
Sure.
Okay, it's okay. Sorry for that. Okay. When I experienced the first love, it kind of I don't have any knowledge. I mean, in a first relationship, I don't have any knowledge about that first relationship. I guess that was my first time. I was so confused how I'm going to manage this, how I'm going to make my partner happy, how I gonna impress my partner. It's I always think about him. I always think about him, and that's the reason why I sometimes think that he have to think that way too. You
Yeah,
know,
true.
hey, I can't always think about how I take good care of you, how I manage to impress you. You also have to think that way. And sometimes when you feel that they don't do that, you feel like insecure, right? You feel so insecure that hey, maybe does he doesn't love me because he didn't do what I do. He I didn't see the love or take good care that he take good care of me. Something like that kind of insecurities. But every people have different personalities. You can you can see people through what you see yourself or through how you do. Your personality is different from other people. So it's just about how you adjust each other, how you accept each other. You can't say, hey, you have to take good care of me because I take good care of you. Other people just don't have the sense of being like showy, can show their emotion, can show their love properly. But we are girls, we are women. We love to see other people say, hug us, kiss us, and say, I love you. You mean a lot to me. And when we can't hear that, we can find that to them, then we feel like insecure and we tend to keep the feeling of jealous. Maybe he'd have another one, blah, 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 blah. And the stress started in that part. Okay. But
True.
in my case, it's different thing. We are both don't have the experience, and maybe we are very blinded but how we are domesticated because he is a spoiled brat, and I'm also I don't know anything about relationships. I'm a kind of person that go to the place where I want to go, like very introvert kind of part, something like that. And he is a spoiled brat. He grew up like don't have any routine and responsibility, sense of responsibility. So I don't know why I fall in love with that person at that time, but maybe when that time I just like attracted the way he is. I don't know. I accepted him.
Mhm.
His
True.
flaws, everything, his imperfections. Because we are human, we are vulnerable. So we can always think that we can change. Every people can change, but we can't be the source of their changes. Okay, they can change by their own self. We cannot drag them to what we want them to be. So okay, that's the stressful relationship comes when you want your partner change the way he is, the way she is. So that's how the relationship becomes stressful. So if you want to love someone without stress, you have to accept him for what he are or she are. You have to embrace his vulnerability because every people we are built being vulnerable, and that part of our life. So to be able to be stress free in a relationship, you have to accept, hug, embrace all the flaws, and love him the way he is. But make sure he's not a psychopath. Okay, I hope that I answer your question.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's wonderful. Stress and love. Well, how about like for example, for this OFW working abroad or working overseas and they are far apart from their partner. Can you imagine how stressful their love life is?
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna answer this question. Actually, I haven't experienced that kind of relationship. I haven't really
Long
experienced
distance
long
relation.
distance relationship, but I can imagine how it feels. Okay, example, if a woman leave her family behind, her husband, and go to the other place and started to adjust, started to feel the place, started to like explore.
Yeah.
And sometimes temptation is not really avoidable. It's always in there wherever you go,
Mhm.
and there's there's a lot of that in every place. Even if you are in your hometown, even if you are with your husband, there's a lot of temptation out there. So how much more if you go out there? So the temptation will be the start of the stress relationship. Oh, Lamarcos is here. I'm so glad. Hey, Mark, welcome to our
Hi,
live.
Mark.
Okay. Okay, let's continue. Okay. The stressful relationship start when you are so far away because of the temptation, but it is depend on how you are very faithful and how you're very true to yourself. Because if you really love someone, even how far he is or she is, you're not going to embrace this temptation because you have responsibility, you're committed to that responsibility. So you can't be accept or get or embrace the temptation. So there's no stress at all if you are totally committed to what you have to what your goals, to what your commitment to your husband, to your boyfriend, to anyone. So stress started when you are less committed. Okay, I hope I answer your question.
Okay. Yeah, uh, relationship become, shall we say, falling apart if no trust, no commitment, no loyalty. Obviously, you know, the stress and all those kind of misunderstanding will break the relationship. Well, hopefully Mark will share us something about his experience about love and stress.
I actually want to take exception to Nora's comment about make sure he's not a psychopath. I don't know that I agree with that, Nora, and I don't know if you're referring to me specifically on that,
No.
but that might be kind of fun. You never know.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's hard.
I can't.
Imagine
Yeah,
how stressful is it when you love someone who's like that
like,
psychopath there.
but actually psychopath is, Mark, I read a book about psychopath. Yeah, the
Of
wisdom
course
of
you have.
the
You've read a book about
psychopath.
everything.
Wisdom about psychopath. It's very cool. But yeah. Okay, continue our topic. Any can you share anything about long distance relationship and stress through it, the circumstances?
You're asking Christine, right? I think
Okay,
Um,
you
you're.
Mark Brown, can you share
Oh,
us something about
oh. There's so many different philosophies on that. Even if you think you know the answer, it your experience may differ, right? So there's plenty of examples where that doesn't work out well for people, and there are some very beautiful examples where it does work out. So I mean, I guess share some personal experiences, but I don't think it's really going to enlighten the topic very well because I think more importantly, everybody goes through relationship stress and hard times, and I think that um, it's one of the great. I wish we could never have that on one level, but on another level, it's one of the great ways for us to come together and understand one another and kind of just find commonalities because we're kind of in a world where a lot of people try to find differences and what's wrong and what they don't like about a person or a group of people. But I think uh, stress in a relationship is so universal that it's one of those magical things where you learn from it and you can share those experiences and become closer to literally anyone in the world because we all go through it, right?
yeah, true. Well, as we move on to the second part, as a part of our topic today is an insecure stress. Nora also will share us about her experience of insecurity and give us stress.
oh.
Yeah. If you like you insecure, obviously you're so stressed. Like for example, I have an employer before.
Mm-hmm.
Husband is working in the shipping company, and she is so insecure because she gained weight. She's so insecure that, oh, my husband won't love me no more because I gain weight,
Mhm.
like that. And it comes to the point that she want to commit suicide because in her mind that her husband is, cheating or have somebody else because she gained weight. So that's
Mm.
insecure she is. So that's that's my share for that insecurities.
Mhm. Okay.
So imagine
So
how stressful life if you think like that you're insecure because not only for women's, not only for girls that they're insecure, also for guys. They're sometimes when they lose job they feel so insecure. Oh, my wife won't dump me somewhere because I lost my job, something like that.
mhm.
I'm not
Okay.
blaming anybody else, but you know based on my experience, there's a lot of guys also like that they feel so insecure when they lose their job. Mostly when they have a family that need to taking care of. So Nora, you can share some also of your point of views that about insecure uh, part.
Okay. Okay. My insecure part in my first relationship is that also in my job that okay, the insecurity that I have is I don't know. I was not a pro when it comes to building a relationship. I can't really assure at the time that that I'm doing right. So that's the reason why I was so insecure because I know I don't know what I do. So I I always feel that he might find somebody because I'm doing not really enough.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm doing not enough. I think there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of I
yeah,
always think about how I have to make him happy. How I have to make perfect things, not to like that kind of silly thing. When I look back, I say myself, "Ugh, how stupid she was." But yeah, that's how I feel insecure. But I what I do, what I tried to do was still not enough. Okay,
yeah,
my insecurity at the time was my instinct that that person was not right for me. Okay, at that time, that's the reason why also there's something happened, and I don't want to share it here. I
okay,
really don't want to share
no
it
comment.
what happening. Uh, because it's really kind of a worst part of my life that I don't want to share. But everybody also really experiencing that kind of part, and
Yeah, that's
everybody know how to
nice.
deal it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to share this part, but I really I overcome that one after the breakup, and I realized and I learned a lot of stuff. I learned a lot about relationship after the breakup. Maybe 1 year after, I realized a lot of things through that experience and how I gonna love myself, how I gonna don't impress other people just for them to love me, because I have to love myself first before I love other people, right? So the stress will come, or the insecurity will come when you want to impress other people very very often, that you forget that you have yourself also to take good care of. Like, okay, Mark, I hope you can actually answer this question too if I don't answer it properly. Chris, can you join us here, please? Mm.
Well, how can you advise to all ladies or women's out there that they are so insecure? They're so stressed because they're so insecure. So any encouragement that don't be insecure, even you gain weight, don't be insecure, right? Or even if you lose job,
So
don't be insecure.
insecurity is very interesting to me, but I guess everything is. But regarding insecurity, how many people have lost a job and found a better one, or
Yeah.
lost a love and found a better one. It's I don't
Exactly.
want to rehash the links that I put on the other video. I put a few links in there, but one of the things I linked was a book that talks about Taoism, and Taoism isn't a religion; it's a philosophy and an approach, and it's kind of this idea of let things happen, and usually it works out, right? Sometimes it takes a little longer than others, but when something is bad or you think it's bad, it might turn out good, and vice versa. And so there's this cycle of I think what it comes down to, you have this cycle of thinking about, is it good or is it bad? It must be bad because I'm feeling bad. And so you get into your head. But I can't even count on all my fingers and toes the number of times where I thought something was bad. And then a little bit later, it turned out that it actually had a good result at some point down the road. And it's easier said than done, but I wish that I could convince everybody that's going through a hard time to stick it out and keep a positive attitude, because that usually drives people into
Mhm.
something better or allows something better to fall into their lap either way. And so, again, easier said than done, but you don't need to have the anxiety and the stress of the example you gave is this friend of yours was gaining weight. If a
Yeah.
guy if a guy didn't like that, maybe he's not the right guy, because that's not gaining weight can't be the only thing there. There's
Mhm.
more to it, right? And so that indicates a personality. And maybe that relationship ends and she's sad for a bit, but maybe she finds another guy who appreciates things way more important than how much she weighed.
Yeah, true. Because there's a saying about that God will never leave us empty if He asked us to put something down because He wants us to pick up something great.
I will also
Yeah,
I want to
right.
point out that you named like one or two things that women might have anxiety over, and then like a few things guys might have anxiety over. And Nora basically listed all the guy things to have anxiety over, and I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
job, Nora.
thank you, Mark.
Okay, so I hope that we answer pretty much of the questions and we encourage all those
Yes.
ladies out there that they're so insecure that not to be stressed about it. If the person really love them, no matter how much weight they're gaining, they still love it.
Yeah, great.
Well, as we move forward, our next part is about financial stress. That's really
Okay.
stressful, right? When it comes
Right.
to financial. So Nora, can you share about, I know all of us dealing with financial stress, mostly nowadays. But how can we manage? How can we handle about this financial stress?
Okay, how can we manage stress?
Financial.
Financial stress. Okay. Okay, I actually worried that in the time that I started to be a mom, okay, that started that I have Joseph, I started to worry that, oh my God, what I'm doing? I'm still here. I didn't even plan anything. I haven't any. So Joseph gave me a lot of direction, but that also a reason that I have to sacrifice something. Like I have to sacrifice. I have to sell my time, leave my very very precious son alone and go to other country for that financial aim that I'm trying to gain. And that's give me a lot of stress um, because I don't have choice at that time. In the Philippines is mostly ev- everything in here is something like very very hard to get a stable
Yeah,
job.
true.
If you get job, it's also pay you very less, and it's so hard to get the goals that you want, the financial thing that you want to use to support your family, to support your
Yeah.
son, everything like that. It's very 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 little. So at the time there is no choice but to go other country, sell your time, work there, and spend 2 years every contract, and go back home after that until you forgot that until you forget the feelings that I mean you become numb, right? You
Yes.
become numb because you are used to like very far until something you forget your old self in you know there's a lot of changes when the time that I started to go away and to travel to leave my son. I even feel sometimes that I slowly lost him. So that's how I manage my financial thing. I leave him, and there's a lot of conflict after that, and it's not really an easy thing, you know. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to handle, but you're gonna used to it because you have to do it, something like that. But to all the people in there and to all the mom, if you have something or if you have ideas that you can use that and you can stay home, work there, or get your business, you can choose that. Don't leave your family. Don't leave your son. It's very, 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 very hurt. It's very, very painful that you leave them, and and then you're gonna find out yourself. You're gonna find out that you're slowly losing them. You lose the chance to take good care of them in their young age. So financial thing is the most stressful for me because I'm a single mom. I hope I answered your question, but I don't know if I answered it really well.
Yeah. Well, I understand that, back in Philippines, it's really hard to find a stable job. You know, can you imagine that one day salary there is just 1 hour here? You know, but there's a lot because of um, financially not stable back there. So a lot of Filipino work overseas. We call that OFW. So because that's their choice. That their choice that you know going abroad can provide my family more than what I earn in the Philippines. So and I do that too before, and I cannot imagine stress. Because during in my time too, my two kids, they're 3 and 2 year old. No, 4 and 3 year old. By the first time I lived in behind, and it's really broke my heart. But I have no choice because of financial stress. So, and it's true. You're working abroad. You're working, and your mind is in back home, thinking their safety, their emotion, their feelings. What they're doing now. Hopefully, somebody will taking care of them properly, and it's not easy to all those mothers out there. And a lot also there, and even there, as you said, they're used to working far away because of um, their financial needs. So, and in that case, their sons or daughters, their family also, they're falling apart. Like uh, because of their choice that they choose their financial instead of their family. Really stressful way. So, Mark, can you share us about your financial stress too?
I can relate so much to what you guys are saying, especially in the last video, Christine, when you were talking about your lesson that you remember very well from high school when you're trying to find happiness. So you wanted to get a job, and then
Yeah.
you wanted something else, and then you had like, I don't know, 1,000
Yeah.
things lined up at the end, and this concept really hit home for me when you start to Google statistics in the world about places where people are more happier and
Yeah.
less happier. And it is an interesting topic because most of the, I guess they call it first world countries where, they're industrialized and money isn't usually the main problem. The happiness level is actually lower than regions in the world where people are maybe more poor or less financially structured. And I think that's fascinating. That shows precisely what you were talking about in the last video, that the more money you get, the more you're trying to find happiness instead of less money. You almost, and I'm no expert, so I can't say that this is 100% for sure, but it seems to me like the less money that you might have, the more time you have to spend on focusing what real happiness might be to you. And for you, it sounds like that was family. And I think
Yeah,
um,
true.
for most people, that's true. I think that might be the secret of life is finding that. And the other thing I can relate is Nora's story about being a single parent. I went through that too, and there's a level of stress, right? The topic is stress. There's a level of stress that you go through when you lose your job, or your job is ending, your contract is ending, and you don't know what the future might be. That's very, very stressful. But there's a whole different level of stressful when you're a single parent and your child is 3 years old or 10 years old. And if you don't have a job lined up and you don't have money coming in, that child can't eat. That is like, it's almost, you can't compare it. So there's definitely a level of stress that you have to deal with that changes based on your individual situation. And having a child, like, I'm sorry if this sounds morbid, but if I were to like lose my job now and go homeless, or if anything, heaven forbid, were to happen to me and I were to die or get really ill, it's such a different feeling than if I had my child. My daughter's she's on her own now and doing her own thing, and she's pretty much self-sufficient. So that's just like, I don't have the stress of trying to find money like I used to, because that is something, that's one less thing that I have to worry about. So I definitely can relate to your story, Nora.
Yeah, true. And it's true. I never forget that lesson. That it's like an ending cycle of financial thing. That you know, when I acquire this thing, I will be happy. And when you acquire the thing, still not enough. So you still want more and want more. So in short, then even you earn 1 million, you still spending a millions, right? So it's
Yeah.
in short that even you are poor, but if you have a family, you're still rich, or you are rich.
Mm, agree.
Yeah. Well, I guess we pretty much answered our third questions. Now we ask Nora about living a life without stress. I guess that I like that too. I like to live a life without stress.
Okay, now Charm is here. Charm also can join us, because
Yeah,
Charms have a lot
join us.
to say. Charms is something like also have the wisdom, and also Len, Bessie, you both can join us here. I think we can have five in here. So you asked me,
Yes, we
Chris,
can share
how to live a life stress
without,
free.
yeah, without stress.
Okay. Stress is normal, I think, these nowadays. But
Yeah,
I think you just you can avoid or prevent it by getting the toxic. Okay, what make you stress? Cut it off. If your finger make you stress, cut it off.
oh boy.
Everything, get the thing that make you stress,
That
or
might be a little extreme.
yeah, all the toxic. Yeah, just cut it off,
Yeah.
because you can't keep something that is always worrying you. Example, you have a problem now. Okay, if you have a problem, I don't have job, and I keep worrying what I'm gonna feed my kid after 5 months from now. How I'm gonna do if my earnings gone? Of course, to be able to get away from that stress, then find a job. Just do your best to get what you want to ace this worriness, because worriness won't help anything. It only ruin your brain. It only ruin your body. You're gonna have some emotional breakup, and it's gonna hurt your stomach. If you keep thinking too much, your stomach will gonna get hurt. You know that.
Yeah.
That happened to me in Singapore. That happened to me in Singapore at the time. I was overthinking all the time, and
Mhm.
it hit my stomach. And we went to the doctor and asked why it happens. I cannot say anything. And then the doctor told me that don't think too much.
Yeah.
Stop the
Keep your
stress.
stress.
Worrying won't help you, but only it will hurt you. So that happened. So I learned from that. I learned from that situation, and I apply that today. I'm the one who are very sensitive kind of person. I always get what I see, but I started to learn not to take everything personally, because I know that I build or I do my own movie as I edit my own um, movie, like the video that I do. I create this on, and same as my life, I create my own life, my own, and I'm the director. I'm an actress of my own life.
Yeah, true.
So if I let those worriness came in, it's gonna kill me in 5 years. So what's gonna happen to Joseph? What's gonna happen to the people that I love and matters to me if I let this go inside my brain and it ruin my body and myself? So stress hurt you a lot. Find solution instead of worrying thing. I know it's easier said than done, but it's also worse if you accept the stress all of your life. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Oh, Mark can share us also about that.
Yeah, Mark.
So I'm going to get into some personal stuff about Nora. I'm sure, Nora, you're excited about that. You can do this if I go too far, but it's been a long time. I've been so blessed to know you and be friends with you and be on your journey. How many years ago did we first meet on Google Plus? It feels like about 3 lifetimes ago.
Wow.
And it's
Yeah.
been a long time. Nora's one of my oldest continuous friends. And when we first started chatting, someone looks like someone's joining. When we first started chatting and talking, I remember very much how Nora was just, that stage you go through when you go through something like what she went through. She was done with men, never ever again. I'm totally done. This is it. Like if other people are into that, that's fine, but not me. I have other things. And it was such a journey, and it was so interesting to me to watch that journey. I mean, pretty much every step of the way, and how Nora grew. And I think the secret was at some point she started to have goals, and those goals turned into missions, and she was able to focus on some. Oh, Lynn's trying to join.
Yeah.
Good. I hope you make it in, Lynn.
Yeah.
So it
Len.
was just very, very. I'm totally done. This is it. Uh-oh, there's an
Hi,
echo.
Len is
Oh, wait.
here.
That's fine. But
I can hear you.
okay.
Hi, Bessie.
Oh, I love how you're like the secret, the secret person with the dark shades, so no one can see your face. Like this is a secret interview. That's awesome. Aw. So
Cheers.
yeah, just Nora's journey was just a really interesting thing to watch. And almost wish there was some kind of a documentary about it, because it's just that age-old story of working yourself out of darkness, if you will, and finding a reason to move forward. And she struggled, as we all do, but then there was a purpose, and that purpose turned into a mission over time. And you started doing so many things, the hiking and the vlogs and just the reading. And then just it was amazing to see how your circle of friends grew from a very few to, I don't know, billions and zillions. But it's an inspiration, and it was a show of strength to see you work through that. And I think, again, that your goals is kind of what drove you through and got you to focus on something other than the misery. What do you think, Nora? What was your take on your journey?
It's amazing.
Thank you for that, Mark. That's too much for me. Actually, I just look the bright side of all the misery that I experiencing, because I cannot stay in that dark all the time when I know that there's a lot of people struggling the same as me. So how can I just let that ruin me when I know there's a lot of people also, you need to help, you need to like talk, you need to share something that you experience. Hey, you have to I mean, I experienced that the same thing, and I know what you feel, and I think we can help each other, something like that. So those people that have the pain that on them, I can relate to them, and I realize that not that's the cycle of life, that's a part of life. We are built being vulnerable, and we have to accept that. Also, we have to learn from our mistake, and find another way to make our life a little bit better. That's all.
That's a sorry, you made a great point there, and I think that maybe I kind of like blanked out on this, but back at that time, I think we were both in a bad place, and misery loves company. And I think that me trying to help you on your journey and you trying to help me on my journey made it easier for both of us. That's another great point, not to be afraid to reach out to others when you're going through it, and it's almost cathartic to try to help somebody else out, because in that moment you're understanding pain as well, so you know what other people need when they're going through it. I think that was a really great point. So I'm curious what Bessie's deal is. Maybe a few juicy. Oh, did she leave, or is she still here? Oh no.
I think
She's
I think
done.
Bessie is losing her internet, and I
Oh,
don't know. Maybe she's doing something while multitasking, like trying to join and trying to paint at the same time.
oh,
I think
okay.
she's doing it. Oh
Well,
my
if you
God,
can
we
type
have super
something,
chatter in
Lynn.
here. Charms. Wow. Thank you, Charm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
I guess that's for the topic for today.
Really? That's so
Yeah.
fast. I'm just feel that a climax.
Oh, that's our
Okay, Mark.
last
Now,
question.
Christine keep asking at us question. How about you ask Christine a question about this? Vice versa.
What
Well,
question?
so we all have that one story, Christine, right? That one story that when we think about that low point or that very, very stressful point, and I think we all have that one memory that stands out about how, looking back, how in the heck did I get through that? I'd be curious what that story is for you.
Well, yeah, that's my stressful story. But now, in that chapter, I pretty much tried to close it. That chapter of my book. So I completely move on with it. And for now, I can only say
You,
that I'm living a stress-free life. It's stress-free
you can
because
you can open the closed book.
Open the
what the
envelope.
stressful life? No. Happily, uh,
We
stress-free
did.
life now with Steve. No stress financially, to be honest, and no love stress because in our journey of life, we trust each other. Um, I'm pretty blessed. Like how God gave me the very best one. Yeah. So all
Okay.
the stress that I put down, I pick up the great. Yeah. When Steve come in my life, like all the stressful type of life is gone. I never stressed like as much people do. We live happily. So
I
that's
have a
an
question. Sorry. Question for both of you, actually. As mothers, you're looking at some point in time where your children are going to have a whole lot of stress. What are you guys how are you guys going to help your kid go through something like that?
oh yeah, that's a stressful part. Mostly if you have a teenagers that they will go through the same cycle. Hopefully not go through the same way you go through. It's like for me, I don't want my kids to go through my experience. You know, as long as I live, I want them to live a happy life, a comfortable life, and I don't want them to go through the stress life that I go through. So I do my best because now they're in teenage year, like boy and girl. They have different character, different attitude, different way of life, different exactly opposite. So that's stressful. How about you, Nora?
Yeah, same here. The puberty thing is really kind of different. They are changing. He's changing. everything in him, his emotion also at the same time. So I'm just trying to help him like read the books, because when I was young, and when I compare myself now, I feel that when I was young, when I read this book, if I read this book that I want to read now, maybe it's gonna be a guide for me to go through life in a smooth way. So now, for this part that my son is now teenager, I'm trying to help him read the books that I want when I was young, so that it can be guide him through that. Because when you live in a place where you can see everything, the pattern will be keep happening, keep going on, keep repeating. So because you cannot control that when you are in the same situation, in the same surroundings.
Yeah.
It will borrow your being. So when you don't have guide, when you don't have anything to read, or to people that have wisdom to talk to you, and even if some people that have wisdom and you can sink in their knowledge, then it's still not going to happen. But when it's repeated, like reading the books repeatedly, and you can get that inside you, then it might help you guide your life through a smooth life. So I'm trying to help my son in that way, so that it can prevent him from the distraction.
Yeah.
It's very very hard for the teenagers right now, especially in the school, bullying part of that, blah blah blah. So we have to be control their emotion, that so not to be part of that.
Yeah. So
Also
on
something like that. Yeah. Mark is so lucky because he's already graduated to being a father, and he's so cool. He's proud dad.
good. Well, me, I'm still, you know, it's still a long ways to go because
Mm,
they're still in their teenage year. They're not graduate yet, so hopefully Mark can advise us something useful.
yeah, right.
Oh boy. Raising children, and I can't quote exactly Louis C.K. because he likes to cuss, but he said something to the effect of, no matter how hard you try or what you do when it comes to raising children, you're going to mess it up really bad. And I cannot express that enough, because I was when I mentioned I was a single dad. When that happened, oh my goodness, my daughter became my life, and everything was based on how I can prepare her, Christine, similar to you. Like, she needs to have a better life than me. I have to do everything I can to prepare her for to avoid all the horrible struggles I went through, right? And so I was kind of that quote unquote tiger dad that was like, always everything was a lesson. I was almost like this ancient Chinese philosopher. Everything was a lesson, everything had a reason. And I mean, I remember when she was going from middle school to high school and she asked for a new laptop. And I was like, sure, yeah, we'll get you a new laptop. We'll go to the store, you can pick out any laptop you want. But you're going to research all the laptops, and I'll teach you how to do that, and we'll pick the one you want. But before we do that, before I do any of that, you're going to have to write a paper for me. And the paper was on STDs. You guys know what that stands for, right? I don't have to explain that. So my poor daughter, I feel so bad for her, but like, I had to find a way to educate her on this subject. And because she's a daughter and I'm a dad, it's probably easier for daughters to talk to their moms about this subject. So I turned it into basically a paper that she had to do. And I remember it was APA formatting, double spaced, 11 point, New Times Roman, and it had to be, I think, like 6 pages. And she did the research on her own. And so she learned about, the most important lesson was to learn how to research something on her own and figure it out. And then the other things were to prepare her for college and how they write papers and how they have to pay attention to references and formatting and all that stuff. So her wanting a new laptop turned into like 5 different lessons, right? How to research, what STDs are, how dangerous unprotected sex is, all this stuff, just to try to teach her. And so it becomes almost a form of stress for the parent, right? Because there's so much pressure on you to make your child have a good life.
Yeah.
Now, when she got older, did that teach her, like, did those benefit her or hurt her? Because she ended up, kids are going to do their own thing and learn their own lessons the hard way, no matter what you do. And so it's a struggle to try to guess which lesson is going to help them teach themselves and learn something in the future, and which lesson is going to turn them off and make them give up. It's such a fine line to try to straddle when you're raising children. It's almost a guessing game. So all that to say, I really don't have advice other than you do your best and understand that mistakes will happen. And as long as you love them, I mean, that's the most important thing. And so anything that goes wrong, you can fall back on the fact that you love them very much. So that's the key.
Nice.
Yes, I agree with that. It's really cool.
Okay, I think that's pretty much that it.
So,
So Nora, you have something more to add?
wow. Actually, I think I already say everything.
Where did she go?
She's gone. That's it. She's
Yeah,
done. It's
she's
over.
gone. You're not saying goodbye. That's it. You just leave us
She didn't
alone.
even throw up
Sorry
a
for
peace sign. She's just out.
Yeah.
Sorry, please. Sorry. I just want to cough. It's urgent.
Charm never joined us this time. Hi, Charm.
Hello, Charm. Yeah, Charm is here, and she gave us money in here. 199. Wow, thank you so much for that.
What a
I didn't know that
sweetheart.
we can. Yeah, I didn't know that you can do it here.
Yeah,
I mean,
Charm also has a
I mean
plan
in
to do
here
it.
in StreamYard, because I can't even see any sign of dollar in here. So it's surprising that it can happen in here too. So thank you, Charm. It's my first time because it's enabled when I become monetized. Thank you for that. Hello, Matt. Matt Epicness Gaming. Hey, Mark, do you love games like those online games? Matt's Epicness of Gaming. His content is about gaming. So
Okay.
shout out to Matt. He's about gaming. It's been a long time that I support him, and he support me as well because he's from Google Plus, and I really like his content because he's very consistent. I think he posted every day, and every time I visit his channel, then I see the game. I also want to play a game, but when I go back home, I forgot that I want to play because I don't have it on my phone anyway. But I like his content. He's very consistent.
I
And Charm
um
and Potion Vlog, shout out to her because you have to visit her channel because she got a lot of very, 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 very nice review in there, and you can learn something from her at the same time.
yeah,
And there's a
definitely.
lot of you. Yeah.
So to tie the video games a little bit into our topic, I actually used video games as a way to teach my daughter life lessons. And if you
Really?
put a little bit of thought into it, you can definitely do that. Not only does it teach you, hand-eye coordination and problem solving and stuff like that, but if you do online gaming, I think there's no better way to teach somebody um, human emotions and human interactions, because when you interact in an online, like for instance an MMO, and you can join guilds, and there's so many aspects of that, people can hide behind an identity which allows them to show their true selves, because they don't have to necessarily answer to it to the full extent that you would if you met somebody in person. So you get to open up into a window of how people really are and how they can be good and bad, and it's a great way. So if your kids are really interested in gaming, try to direct them. I mean, us older generation, our parents were definitely very much against gaming. They thought it was bad and rotted your brain, but I've learned the opposite. You can really use that as a tool to help your kids learn so many things. So don't write it off as a useless thing. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
Oh, that's really cool.
Then mom, right? That if you're into gaming and you will become addicted, that's a bad
Yeah,
thing too.
yeah,
So that's only
that's a bad.
that's maybe if you use it the right way.
Yeah, as in all things,
Yeah,
right? You have to have a plan and a structure in order to use it properly. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sure.
I agree with that. But addiction is always triggered when you started something, especially even in social media. It's just how you control it. And if you, yeah, as Mark said, if you don't have goals, then it's not, you're gonna be addicted to that kind of thing, and it wastes your time all the time.
Okay, I guess we're pretty much, and I will say bye bye. And guys, don't forget to listen our radio station. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Our mobile app, and Steve is working on it, and he's trying to put in the mobile app. He can try to put a video in it, but we're still learning. But enjoy the Filipino American love songs there. To all our listeners,
Mm-mm.
to all our OFW listeners out there, thank you. And thank you for joining us, Mark and Nora. Bye bye.
Wow. So,
Guys.
okay. Christine, thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate you a lot because you helped me through this live stream, and it's really good to have you here. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm always there wherever, how much distance we have. And
And also
true.
thank you, Mark Brown, for always supporting me. You're so cool. And thank you for being my friend for a very, very, very long time.
Always fun to chat. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Have a good night to both of you. And thank you. Before I leave this live stream, I want to shout out to Bakikang's vlog. Bakikang's vlog po, mega mega shout out to you. And Cancel Kitchen vlog, mega 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 shout out to you too. Thanks for being my member. Mark Brown, Lavia, Tivana Tears. Thank you, buddy, for being here. Bessie, Len Lopez, thank you for supporting. Thank you for being here. I hope I can see you. I can have you again for our next live and together with us girls. Charm and Len and Christine together. I hope we can make a good topic together in this live stream. And so we can have some fun and we can schedule it. And what's this here? What's here? Let me shout out. Okay, Charm and Poly, thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you so much. And everybody, I wish you all a good day, a good night, or whatever time in the country, and be blessed and stress-free life. So much and love you all. Goodbye.